Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those Wave Runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal Box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.
And we are back one map into our last series of the day here for the Knights Arena VALORANT North America Challengers. Split number 1. It's G2, it's BreakThru, and Shift. Holy, what a game that you guys just had the pleasure of casting. 13-9, the way of BreakThru, the upset potential. It's here, it's in our hands. We just have to not fumble it, right?
I mean, a lot of people out there were saying G2-0, but I'm telling you, man, this BreakThru team, they showed us something last week in their different 3-9 comebacks. I mean, that takes a lot to not just do that once, but do it twice and then win back-to-back overtimes. It's like, all right, this team is for real. Just comes down to can they game plan better right off the rip. We got our answer. I mean, the back and forth affair that we had in the first half, he's somewhat surpassed by the opportunity for BreakThru to kind of show those 5 rounds of defense in a row. The post plant conversion from BreakThru also sublime, which is a great step up from last week. And then, of course, it all being capped off with the Thrifties, just, you know, the candles on the case then. So, I don't know, man. And this BreakThru team, they're looking like they are for real, not just because of all the reasons we mentioned at the top, but when you've got the ability to share the load like this team does, it makes life feel so much more comfortable. I mean, they technically, I think, got almost out-fragged in this matchup. It still came out on top just due to the fact that they were able to put together those clutches and obviously just show us the continual resilience just in a different way this week.
Bro, it was just Oprah Winfrey out there handing out clutches to everybody in the studio audience. And the studio audience happened to be the entire BreakThru roster, bro. You get a clutch, and you get a clutch, and you get a clutch. Bro, everybody's out there clutching. Sim had a 1v3. Then he had that double kill with the showstopper. That's 2 clutches. A Proto had 2 different clutches in the second half. 1 to finish the game, and then 1 other 1 versus 2. Brock had that crazy 1 versus 2 at middle on a post plant on the B site. Like, it was just... It's like G2 just couldn't win, bro. It's like every time that they did all the right things in the early to mid-round portion, when they were trying to, you know, go ahead and kind of just sign the dotted line for this round, you got it, buddy. The deal's yours. Someone from BreakThru would live up to the team name and just hop in there and just RKO the round into oblivion, and all of a sudden it's BreakThru winning 13-9. Like, it was just insane how many just like late round situations that BreakThru were able to come on top of. And some of it was shown in the last graphic when you're talking about post plants, but it's also just how they were able to steal rounds away from G2 right underneath their noses.
So now with this dust, okay, so now that we've seen the first map between these two teams, we kind of talked about the experience behind G2 and what they bring to the roster. It's not just the firepower, but then when you look at these stats and you see that G2 were +6 in first bloods, they lose the game by 4 rounds. They're also losing these clutches 1v1s, 1v2s, 1v3s, whatever it is. Do you think that just between these two teams, that it is that fragging power that is separating them, that they are on the same level of macro, and we saw a way better micro here from BreakThru?
That's a tough one, man. I honestly thought that G2 did look like the superior team for a lot of that game. Like, just if you think about all of the early and mid-round situations, like G2 on attack were surgical as far as actually taking map control, setting up their executes, getting on the sites, getting plants, you know, having post-plant situations where they had numbers, but they just could not stop the retake. There was like, what, 4 straight retakes in a row, I think, from BreakThru in the middle of the first half to bring that one back in. Then you bring in all the clutches, you bring in all the crazy shenanigans that BreakThru were coming through with, and it's one of those things where, like, I thought the fragging was pretty tight through most of the game. Like, I think when we got to the halfway point, it was like the top fragger on the server had 10 kills, and I think the bottom was like 5 or 6 or something like that. So I don't know that it comes down to raw fragging. I just think that when it came down to like those late round chaotic moments, BreakThru were on point, man.
Yeah.
Like, they found a way to brave through the chaos in ways that G2 couldn't.
Yeah, the overall kill numbers by 2 total kills favors G2, just kind of looking over the final stats and doing the quick maths on it. But it's where the fragging came from and at what times for BreakThru. That's the biggest thing, because honestly speaking, if you were to go and evaluate the double duelist composition for G2, it was pretty successful. I think that to be said, though, when G2 was on the offensive side of the map and we saw BreakThru throwing a lot of utility to try to keep the Bay of a long kind of in their hands, it denies space for that Neon and that Jet to really kind of explode on towards site. You're forced them to have to do it over towards C, which is catering, putting it towards Proto's direction. So I think the idea and the game plan for BreakThru was just really well formed.
I gotta tell you one thing. Here's another big difference maker. Flya, 16 assists.
That's big. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, just the amount of times he was able to break things back open with his flashes, with his aftershocks, with his fault lines. Not only was he one of the best fraggers on the team that round, he was 2 frags behind Thief for top frag position in the server, but he was just a part of every moment, man. Like, just so much setting up teammates, so much, you know, shutting G2 down in the late round, like, was just bonkers on Breach.
Well, we'll see if it continues, right? We're headed out towards a set. It's a map we've seen BreakThru play before. We have no idea what to expect coming from G2. And this is it. This series, but most importantly, this map for BreakThru will cement them as first place coming out of week 2. And the players are ready. Agent Select is ready. So, gentlemen, take it away. We'll see if G2 can come back and push us to a map 3.
I mean, hey, because on the other side, if you look at it from BreakThru's POV, just be better from the offensive half, right? Like, you put on 9 straight rounds worth of defense that got us to that overtime in the first place, but only finding 3 attacking rounds, considering their comp, was definitely a letdown. So I would anticipate they're probably going to keep running it back, run the exact same thing here, and just see if you can just improve upon some of those executes, because they did successfully, as I'm looking back over the stats, they had 5 successful plants on offense, just didn't hold any of their post plants. They were 0 for 5 on post plants.
That is wild stat, 0 for 5 on post plants. Yeah, you just can't have that happen if you're G2. And now they come into a map Ascent, which we have not seen them play yet, right? I mean, again, they didn't take part in any off-season events. Their matchup against FaZe, this map was not played. So really kind of just flying blind as a spectator as far as what to expect from G2. As far as BreakThru goes, I mean, you already kind of discussed their comeback that they were able to have against Oxygen in the first week on this map, winning it in overtime. But it was a consistent map for them throughout qualifiers as well. Like when they were playing against Cosmic Divide and Or Esports and The Nation and Wreckaroo and so on and so forth to get them to this point. Ascent was their top 2 maps next to Haven.
Yep,
so
7-0 on it.
They're going to feel right at home here. And they have the official results to back it up. Whereas G2, it's all going to be based on how comfortable you were in scrims and how much you've been able to scout BreakThru through their run through qualifiers and such to see if you have the right counters for them.
Agreed. Only difference in composition comes out of the choice of Sentinel. Of course, everyone and their mom knows that a Proto's going to run the Cypher, but Dapper will opt into the Killjoy instead. G2 on the opening defense. Pistols for BreakThru have not been stellar, but the statistic was improved to the last map. A chance to possibly do a little bit more here with this early threat towards Zay. Sentry turret denied. Star is down, and that's just for a Nebula. So now BreakThru on their way in. As actually first blood is collected. Sim did not have a lot of help behind this. Now Penny can get to work, and yeah, the utility is very well layered. G2 will hold for now. Grab his Proto, and no problems there. G2 take the pistol.
Yeah, it's like BreakThru were just trying to force the issue at A despite all the utility that was being lobbed at them in the entryway. And it's like every time they would kind of gather themselves back up, another piece of utility would come flying in from G2 to disrupt them, and one of those last flashes from Penny really kind of finished the job, got him a couple of frags, and kind of wrapped that one up. So you are going to see, of course, G2 go ahead and grab up a few SMGs, a Bulldog, and an Ares on Shazam. Again, as you were kind of already talking about, the compositions are about what you'd expect for both teams.
Yep. And no force buy this time for BreakThru, although they will opt into 3 upgraded pistols to Sheriffs. Shazam will get a lot out of the shot. Or recon to follow. The Ares will not provide any further damage as the Sheriffs continue to try to hopefully battle through the walls. G2 showing force towards Wine, but back away, and everything will reset to 5-5.
It's actually wild to me that we're like, what, in year 3 of Valorant?
And people still try that?
No, that people still don't know what the heck that animal is on the wall.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying people still try to get the pistol headshots.
Oh, that too, but I still have no idea what that thing is on the wall.
Not a
to be.
clue.
Not even roughly a clue. What are your thoughts out there, viewers?
I've always tried to lean toward. Like, it's more. It's like.
It's not a dog.
It's not a dog.
Definitely not a dog.
It's like a cow with a small tail.
That is a
with
messed
man
up looking
feet.
animal, dude. It makes no sense at all. I don't understand.
Me neither. Knife it. BreakThru trying to work their way into the. That's about what happens at the bullet hose.
Shazam's like, I want the ace. He runs to his own teammate. Sam's so bad. He wants the ace so bad. That's a man that's hungry for an ace, bro. That's all I can tell you, man. He just all logic out the window. He needed that 5th kill somehow, man. Oh no, he got cooked.
That's
Oh, the
funny.
greed. The greed got him.
Oh man, palpable.
It's all
to say
good
the
though.
least.
Yeah,
It is
it's
all
you know, it matters very little in the grand scheme of things, but still worth a chuckle.
Love it. So now the bonus: SMGs with 1 Guardian, full rifles, and for the most part, a lot of utility also purchased here for BreakThru. So they are mostly on light armor. A lot to spend here coming into round 3. Sim very quickly going to establish some mid presence.
Love it. Big fan.
Yep,
Talk about it all the time.
sure do.
Oh.
And how about that?
See you later. Right between the eyes. That's gonna pretty much open the floodgates on
Oh yeah.
a huge B push that all this Killjoy utility is all for naught now.
Oh yeah, Shazam is completely trapped in the back. Nowhere for him to go. Oxy with a couple of taps off the Guardian has also given away his position. The only question marks are the last 2 G2 members, which are still deciding if they want to come back to your market or try to hit something off the flank for exits. That is a conversation that is still ongoing, apparently. You have to figure that in this situation, G2 will likely try to just play for exits. And well, they're not even getting the chance to. Good reveals coming out. And flawless. An investor flawless at that for BreakThru on the board.
Good first step. Want the weapons in their hands on the attacking side. I hope to see them continue to keep that mid control, because again, that just keeps all your options open on the attacking side. You can just be so dynamic if you're able to establish mid control early in the game, because then you can pivot later on into just like full extremity hits or splits of any kind. Like, it just really lets you set a nice foundation down. So it's good to see that come out early. Obviously got more than he probably thought he was with that blinder of a shot on Dapper. Led to a pretty easy B attack, but now the full buy is out for G2, and so we're all even.
This time Oxy will just kind of hold mid-market ground. Star placement, just used to collect the star back. Knife also will reveal Sim's position.
Ooh.
Largely nothing to come of it. It's still, again, all this damage through the walls. It's largely been the biggest factor early for both these 2 teams.
Yeah, this time it's Brock dealing it with the Odin there through the wall, taking Shazam down to 75 HP. No armor on him anymore either. Mid pressure once again coming in. Smoke comes up, blocking Oxy's vision. Sim does back down, however. But just the mere thought that he could pressure market like that is keeping Oxy so interested at middle, and it's potentially going to allow them to have an easier A split here.
Well, Sim's going to come.
Oh, the timing!
Yeah, not great. Flash will still come through. Penny, he's still deciding which way into this gunfight. I mean, he's got a little bit of assistance with him, but Sim will essentially break through. Oxy left to his own devices, and nearly, I think all of us saw maybe a 3K coming through with how they lined up there at the end, but Spike collected. Proto's going to get the plant. He is by himself. The Brock is nowhere near this site. And the first shots land. Neural Theft will reveal the second. And here comes Brock. It's committed down low, and Proto doesn't need the help. Of course he doesn't. I mean, did you watch anything from first map? Goodness.
It's like, remember all those clutches I was doing last map? I'm doing them again!
Yeah.
Just a brilliant use of Neural Theft at just the right time there. Also, dude, I feel bad for Penny because the man blinds everyone at tree, and his crosshair couldn't have been more perfectly in between the 2 targets.
True.
Not on either one. And just gets rinsed from that position, and a little bit of a back and forth affair after that, but in the end, Proto wins out the 1v2 clutch. And that's going to tie things up and put G2 on low econ.
And they make it punishing, though? Defensively, not doing anything super different, to be honest.
No.
Well, Whippy just caught an off angle. Null command spent as soon as the orb was collected. Sim on the way in. Oxy with pistols. And that will be a plant. You are largely trying to recontest this through heaven. Sim could get point of contact here as soon as the nebula drops. You still hear Oxy trying to chip away. The Al drone will be the first thing forward. Knife will suppress. Sim up top revealed, but he could have been anywhere. And G2 will at least gain some presence over towards the Raptors.
Yeah, Sim didn't overstay his welcome, which is a very smart move. Now the shot dart's going to come in and start chipping away some damage. Oxy's already pretty low, all things considered, and yeah, they obviously don't have much firepower to spend.
Aggressive?
That was a little odd.
Yeah, I'll say.
Didn't like that.
Still would be hard-pressed to figure G2 break their way back into this, especially considering the health
That
nearby.
seems so effortless from Flya just now. Just
Sure
what
does.
A crazy display of aim.
Wow, dude.
Again, I was always kind of on the fence on Flya during his phase days, but he has been crushing it for BreakThru this season, no doubt about it.
And just, again, we have the benefit of, you know, we were obviously intently watching this 9-3 comeback that happened for BreakThru versus Oxygen on this map. But I'll go ahead and say it. I'm impressed with the improvements that we've seen from BreakThru, especially consider the side. I mean, all these rounds have been winnable.
Mm-hmm.
So pending they don't lose the next 7, we've got a different look.
Once again, Sim looking to penetrate mid early here, and he is taking it very deep this time, all the way to defensive spawn. Oxy has an idea, does spot the elbow there, gets the read, but knowing's half the battle. The amount of control that BreakThru have because of this is huge, but Oxy decides to push forward and grab the pick. That is certainly a massive move.
The timing for that was trying to get Sim around the back as soon as the hit from the front came through, but now with that completely shut down, this G2 defense inside and around the A zone over the B site is really locked in. Brock gets some work done with the Odin, but how do you get the rest of your help forward here? I mean, it's just down to if Thief can work his way into the site, and G2 are going to try to take away space. Oh, is it too greedy, though? Brock on the staircase nearly gets a double, and it would have created some space and time to try to work further, but G2 overwhelmed with their numbers, and we stay locked 3.
Yeah, it's BreakThru doing a good job of pushing middle, but Oxy equally a good job holding that position down. And then Penny from the back of B doing some wonderful work here. He was certainly being pressured from multiple fronts. His support was kind of cut off by the smoke at back halls, but he stood firm. Got the numbers he needed, and the Shazam finishes the job there. Gonna keep us at 3 apiece and 4 ults on the table for G2. Looking like they want to try to start steering out in front here. Oxy looks up the middle and reads it. What a read, dude. What a read.
Wait, Oxy got tagged.
Yeah. But such a great read to have the crosshair in the right spot to be able to play the top box position if he's there.
Wow. That is a very important first blood. But it's immediately countered. Flya just steps in towards where Sim had previously been a major threat and eliminates the operator on the eye. You also got to keep in mind that Brock, still with an Odin, could do some work offensively to try to spam down any defense, but the spike has been collected and is still lingering through mid, if not over towards tree completely, where, to be fair, G2 do have a pretty solid setup. Thanks, observers, for that look.
Yeah, the Allotted pressures B, but it doesn't cause really any rotation. As you said, the Killjoy utility is a plenty on this A side of the map. Kind of being bypassed, though, as we're seeing the window push. Now, Whippy is wise to it, but again, knowing is only a part of the battle. Now it's all on Dapper to hold. He gets his one, he gets out of the site. That's huge for setting up the retake.
Yeah, because it's the spike down, so this is going to give his teammates a second. Nobody wants to guard the lockdown, but denied. So now BreakThru can destroy it and get well into their merry way of trying to get on for a quick plant. Penny trying to further contest over through Garden. It's just the flash, though, looking to delay it. Keep your eye on Shazam. Hunter's Fury at the ready. The defensive Sova could get behind this play. 13 seconds. If they get a prediction where this is going to get planted at, they may be able to stop this completely, but they're not going to go into the early Hunter's Fury. Spike planted, and as Shazam drops, it all comes down to Penny.
And he's red. Yeah, he's been detected by that recon. No one under heaven. He'll know that from the knife, but it's not going to be enough. He's decided to grab this operator and save it and give the round the breakthrough. Again, just such a brilliant entry by going to window and grabbing the player on top heaven. Again, Whippy kind of had a read, but still just lost the fight.
Yeah.
Good thought by Dapper to just get his kill and get out and drop the lockdown, but they ran him down, broke their lockdown, and it's over with at that point. BreakThru just looking so well polished.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of just great reactions, and the decisions that are being made are largely correct. As Penny will not be allowed to take the operator to the next round. The chase from BreakThru is good. Break the stalemate for now, but that's some pretty significant punish to what G2's kill potential looked like in this round, having to really just default on the knives and the Hunter's Fury.
And honestly, this is some of the most impressive that Fly has ever looked, I feel like. Like, I'm sorry, when he was actually on phase, he struggled, man. He really did, but he's not allowed that to deter him in his career. He's been able to, you know, use this offseason, apparently really improve himself and put some good players around him to be on this BreakThru squad, and he has been lights out this series.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, Sim's going to want that one back.
Yeah. Definitely a missed opportunity there.
There's no way Sim was going to get red from that position. So now you go into a normal 5v5, defense to reposition a little bit, not really finding the success they wanted to break through the long A side of the map. At least they control it, so if BreakThru want to make a play to A, they will have to use utility to re-clear. Or
Yeah,
so you'd think.
Starting to gather up here on A lobby. Just that one Astra Star on the doorway will be used as a smoke, and there is a good rotation here from Oxy. So the numbers are here for G2. Enough so to maybe even swap BreakThru all the way back. They're starting to second guess this.
And Sim's going to commit to the op play in towards A main.
Right here.
It's taking a lot of time.
It is.
And the further the clock goes down, the more advantageous G2's position becomes because they're still four-man stacked here at
30
A.
seconds left.
It really just comes down to if Penny can find one, that may win the round. And he will get one. So it's a one-for-one position. Op not going to land for a second time for Sim. Whippy holding on the angle. Shots are starting to land for BreakThru, though. They actually cleanly work through. It's Brock with the Odin who entries. Great heavens to that. And now it's down to Dapper and a classic, and the window's been missed again by G2.
Yeah, it really just comes down to Brock doing the heavy lifting, quite literally, because I'm sure that Odin is packing a few pounds, but also just the amount of frags put on the board that round.
Yeah.
Definitely even after some missed opportunities, right? Like, you feel like Sim had some chances to, like, really just put the round away, but the op at multiple periods missed a couple of those chances, but BreakThru kept their composure. Brock comes through on the trades at Tree, and at the end, it's still BreakThru ahead 5-3, so no harm, no foul.
Nope. None at all. And a couple of the key tools here, in particular the Null Command, which you saw Flya trying to get the orb last round, maybe trying to earn it in case they needed it for that last offense. Now has a bit of benefit as the smokes will be encompassing most of mid, and it's a quick hit. It's a 4. Null Command is going to be here. BreakThru's just going to run right through this, take care of all the Killjoy utility, and try to isolate this defense. And so far, it's working out okay. Pre-fire from Petty. The only thing standing in their way, and that's not bad. The first kill comes through, but now Proto lurking through mid. Neural Theft earned off the kill. We'll be able to turn that in, no problem. And
No,
well,
they didn't get
this
Whippy,
is
though.
Forward!
Oh, no! The Neural
Wow.
Theft showed Whippy. They still couldn't get the frag, and G2 come out on top.
I'm just surprised they continued to push through into the defensive spawn right there.
It's like they wanted to try to use the Neural Theft to their advantage and just get spams through the Nebula, and that's why they kept trying to push the back halls, but it winds up completely backfiring. Whippy never goes down. Instead, G2 just rents them. Unbelievable, because that was such a strong take from BreakThru as far as, like, maneuvering goes, but, man, did they fall short in the fragging at the end.
I was hard ready to read that they were going to hit the Neural Theft and then just commit forward to taking care of Shazam outside of Arches, because he was the only defender left to beat.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe just feeling the confidence.
Oh, here we go.
Spike down A.
Little set piece from G2, getting the gravity well into first blood. May not be done yet, but no, Oxy will get nothing more.
Yeah, Spike recollected. But Whippy trying to slip into wine, and while he gets detected, he'll still get his man. Getting some help now as well from Penny and company. Meanwhile, Shazam shutting down the B front of this attack. And all of a sudden, G2 starting to show some prowess. Of course, we knew it was always there. It was always possible.
Sure, yeah.
It's just not been there all the time this series, if we're honest. Especially in the late round.
Okay. BreakThru, do you try to do anything with this? Maybe try to find a kill that could lead to them making a decision for it, but you have to feel like for the majority of this, especially now,
Spike down A.
that this very well may just be play for kills. Protoss collected the spike though.
30 seconds left.
Penny nearby, Oxy on the corner, but this would be one for the record books. Not going to come through 2 missing rounds for G2 back and forth.
Yeah, really well done to keep themselves in the race here, not allow BreakThru to pull too far ahead. Just a brilliant little set piece there on a lobby. Shazam just individually holding it down the other side. And now we're all square at 5 apiece. Still a full buy available here for BreakThru, but they're pretty far off in all except for Brock.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 2 ults available for G2, including a couple of very powerful ones for retakes.
Lots of BreakThru utility once again over towards mid.
I like that
Nice
combo they went
recon.
for there.
Me too.
The recon into the sim jump. Just no one home to receive it. And he gets darted down, has to fall back. Oxy.
Have to respect it.
I mean, he's got to try, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to shoot
absolutely.
your shot, but Sim's not going to allow it. He's obviously going to cower in the corner away from that. Quick pivot into an A-split, though. Look at this.
Sure is. Fragments predicted it, though. Penny's going to hold this off a little while longer. Offense now making its way forward, but Oxy's already in the Cloudburst. 100 Spirit foul. Although the shots don't necessarily land, it's Shazam who's getting all the work done. Second kill comes through. Penny hearing the reload, steps forward into fly, and G2's defense start to really come through in the thick. Just down to Thief. This would be a 1v4. He has an opportunity for it. Goodness, that's just got way too close for comfort again.
Oh, the ghost of Haven Past almost haunting them right there. I mean, it was looking a little scary for a moment if you're a G2 fan, but they do get the job done, and that's all that matters with 1 round left to go here in the half. Everyone's still able to full buy. Oxy even has the operator. He has not really had it very much defensively,
hasn't.
I don't think, for G2. This might be the first time, actually. I know Sims had it a couple of times with the attack, but yeah, Oxy's going to get his hand at it here.
It's going to be just him watching mid. Knife out. Shot starts out. That will just take a little bit of a tickle onto Brock. Second one's going to hit a little harder, though, you think. Yeah, and Brock's a little bit more hindered. Just a touch. Recon bolt out. Oh my goodness, the reveal is insane. And Shazam is going to work.
Nano
Swarm to stop the inevitable hit. Sim over the top, though, actually gets around Shazam. How does that little slide off the rooftop happen? BreakThru take 3 kills, and with that, they also win the site.
No way in heck, man. Sim winning an X Games gold medal in the middle of a match right now of VALORANT as the spike goes down at the back of B, and they have a 3v2 post plant because of it, and now they get to put a Cosmic Divide down to make this retake even more difficult. Whippy gonna add his own there at the back end, and it's gonna be a wild ride on the site in just a moment with all these walls up and stars down.
And null command, double flash, fragment, all of the utility kit for Penny available. There's the first flash. Null command's out. It has to be won by the weapons. Whippy gets the first. Yeah. Flya looks away because of the flash, and that's enough for Penny and Whippy to take all 3 cleanly. Oh,
You're
that
kidding.
was a breakdown.
You're kidding. I can't fathom how they got that fooled by that. That's, oh man. What a crazy match this has been, and what a wild end to the half there. A little bit of everything, a very good start from BreakThru. I think they were up 5-3 at one point.
Yeah.
But then we had the comeback from G2. And eventually they even wind up taking the lead before we switch sides.
Wow, dude. It's just the great utility usage from Penny, right? I mean,
yeah,
that last round looked good as gold for BreakThru.
Especially with Sim making such a crazy entry move.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I cannot believe that. I thought that was going to be 6-6 for sure. Thought they had it.
We've learned anything about this series, though, Dust.
You don't know anything.
Anything can happen at any moment in time.
Yep. I'm just about as good as any Redditor right now on calling the shots around here.
One suppressed.
Relatable. G2's pistol right into Flya's direction. Flya actually gets one very cleanly. The forced play forward. Flya's going to get way more than that. Oh, goodness.
That might be the fastest investor flawless you've ever seen.
It is.
Just dunzo in the blink of an eye. And that gap on the scoreboard is quickly closed. Stinger's out, of course, for G2. That's still very much the play in these second-round situations. Obviously, that nerf's on the way for week 3 after we take a bit of a couple of week break for lock-in.
Goes here.
This game.
I am mad jelly. I wish I was there.
Yeah?
Brazil's a great spot, bro.
Never been.
Been once. A DreamHack event back in the day. The Caprinas were flowing.
Were they? Flowing like waterfalls, eh? I would say color me surprised, but I'm not surprised in the slightest.
You shouldn't be surprised at all. No.
G2 still
Do recommend to all the talent out there if you're of age.
BreakThru keep collecting. Just dropping one in the process. It's a hard press round for G2. Who did nice shots from Proto. But G2 still have a chance to lock this in. Spike's gonna get planted. Both members will be bunkered up into the site itself. BreakThru looking to contest, and Penny, who tried to force it a little bit further forward, leaves it just down to Whippy. Could get it done. This could shoot through the boxes, but it's Thief who collects the headshot. And with that, a little extra to get us tied at 7.
Lead doesn't last for long in these parts.
No,
not
they
the way
don't.
these two teams have been playing. This has definitely been one of the most action-packed games we've seen in Challengers so far, I feel like, throughout these last couple of weeks.
Without question.
Just, it's been so hard to read as well, just because every time you think someone's got the edge, every time, like, the facts seem to line up for one side, someone pulls out a curveball and changes everything. And it's really just been these clutch situations in the end rounds that have made the world of difference, and this time around, unlike Haven, we're seeing kind of an equal distribution of who's pulling them out.
So after the forced last round, G2 will only be able to vest into Stingers again with light armors. This is still a risky call. I mean, maybe you catch BreakThru off guard saying they should be on pistols here, but this is going to hinder some of the economy of players like Oxy in particular, who is going to get revealed by this trap wire. There's another one in front of him. This is, again, going to slow things up a little bit longer. I could respect the idea. G2 looking to follow up, though. Do at least tally one kill. Brock has stayed concealed. No one has seen him. And he may catch Shazam for free. Yeah, that's well done. Anticipated more, but runs into Penny. Didn't expect that. And with it, G2 will get the plant.
Now BreakThru at least have the read that one's there. However, they can try to isolate these battles on site with this flash and with the number superiority. And indeed, they will catch Whippy blind. They know Dapper's in the back. They're going to run him down, but Dapper grabs his man. Penny able to set him behind now because of it, and it's all on Thief. 1v1.
Fragment gives him a little bit of time to reposition, but Thief checks the angle. Doesn't see him there. Now, should have seen him over the top of the box. I'm sure his teammates just called that out. So now he has to toggle. Penny calling his bluff.
Stone cold.
Thief has to try to toggle again. Penny says, nope, not interested.
Oh my.
Now he's trying to get the pre-fire. Talk about nervy. And how about that from Penny? Oh my.
Just wasn't buying it today. I mean, every sales pitch got thrown his way, but he kept his wallet in his back pocket.
Man.
Brock was feeling so good after that, and then instantly regret. Just getting caught inside lobby.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This game's had a little bit of everything, but it all shakes down the BreakThru now. The ones on the back foot, just Sheriffs against the full buy of G2.
Interesting look here. BreakThru going to try to get a little bit of mid-presence. The knife will actually respond and reveal 2 players deep. So now all of a sudden, if you're G2, you have to be worried about any potential mid-stack that could possibly be threatened by it. So they're going to use utility to clear.
Yep. Only really cost them 1 flash to clear this area back out, though. Not a big deal. They also put the recon up, but Sim now slides out, catches one. A huge frag for free. It slows everything on down. They're repositioning heavy B, which is actually the wrong call for them, unfortunately. But they could still play retake, perhaps. Thief also could catch one on the off angle.
Not to be. G2 still to be a little bit curious, though, to see if there's any further defenders forward. Flashes out. Null command also spent. G2 would learn that this was a vacant site. It comes at a pretty steep cost, though. So now you look to the other side of things. Brock's got his recon bolt back. He's got double shock darts.
They don't know about Shazam,
your
though.
pistol shots.
Now they do. Shazam given away, but he still catches Sim anyway. Fly, though, with the quick trade. That's a rifle now that goes over to BreakThru on his retake. 3-on-3.
Cosmic Divide in for the offense. G2 trying to lock things up. Brock not able to get the shock dart into place. So here comes BreakThru. Recon bolt will get them forward. It's a double stack in hell for G2 with Penny at very low HP. And he will fall very fast. Dapper nearly gets the trick down to him. He's going to be suppressed out by the fragment. This is going to get Brock likely to halfway, but the gravity well will deny, and time will favor Whippy in this 1v1. Has to throw the shoulder. Clean kills. And a little bit of space now. Cushion of 2 rounds goes to G2.
Yeah, it's just tough. You're Brock. You think maybe you can pull something off because you haven't pinned at Wine with the fragment, but again, those grav wells are just so annoying, so pesky to deal with in the post plant. Again, BreakThru making every round hard, though, for G2. Nothing's gone easy for this team this series. It's all come down to the wire each and every time. And now BreakThru are on to the full buy, including an op for Sim defensively. This is a critical moment here for G2. This would be a big round win to get to try to really set the pace this half.
Yeah, hard to agree to that.
Meanwhile, if you lose, you're probably saving. It's probably a tie game, 9-9.
Yep.
You should run.
Okay. Lockdown in early. Aldrone being held on will let that fly. And BreakThru will concede the site. A little bit of pre-fire from Thief late. He will not be suppressed or detained. So the spike will go down. Does BreakThru try to challenge this right off the rip, though? Sim seems to want to. Fragment's also over the top. A chance to look at this. Shock Dart will land, and that's going to create G2, again, a little bit of space to work with. Cosmic Divide is in the backside of this, though. It's going to split this defense of the spike plant a little bit up. Oxy from down low takes care of Sim, and the rest of BreakThru are a little bit slow to kind of follow up behind this. Brock getting some damage done with the Odin, but the rest of his teammates are having trouble getting in. It's just Proto last one left, and Dapper will feast on the final 3 kills. G2 up 3.
Yeah, G2 just never let BreakThru have room off of that heaven rotation. Obviously, the first thing that happens there is, of course, the 0 point coming in, which stops Sim from having any real way to dash to safety when he crosses here and gets flashed. So it's free pickings for Oxy. And then just from that point forward, Dapper giving out free haircuts there from the bottom of the site. It's a value deal.
Come one, come all.
Yeah. And that's a big win because now they're up 10-7. Now BreakThru's on the back foot. Again, they lose that round. It's probably 9 apiece. Instead, they have a 3-round gap, a chance to threaten the 3rd.
Yep. Okay. And if you're BreakThru here, I mean, I will say this has been G2 getting onto site relatively easily so far. Are you looking for them to possibly play a little test heavy at these choke points, or?
Well, I mean, that time around they didn't have a choice, of course, with the alts, so it's understandable. But and we have seen BreakThru certainly willing to contest on the periphery of the map. We saw that at A main a couple of times already, as well as when Sim just takes a crazy peek off catwalk at the Sheriff. So they certainly aren't strangers to those types of plays, and obviously a round like this is going to take something crafty. They do have a lot of ults on the board at the very least, so I'm sure we'll see Sim pull out the Blade Storm. They got the Ares on Brock and a Hunter's Fury, which could be a good stalling tactic.
Sure.
Stop a plant or to help a retake.
You're kind of looking for one of two things: either Sim to collect a couple of kills, or possibly the Ares on the opposite side. This is kind of a two-folded defense, and oh my goodness, you're gonna give Sim the chance at that? Are you kidding?
Oh, Oxy. Oh, Oxy. You thought you had him, but you really didn't. And that's a big opening kill.
Hey, Brock has been deadly with these LMGs. There's still a chance that he holds this with just an Ares. Flashes off the walls. Here comes the play, but Brock falls instantaneously, leaving Proto by himself. Just a trap wire to keep him safe. Tries to play for some timing, and well, Fly is there to at least assist to get one more kill for free, or so to speak, for free. Shazam off the plant. Sim, it's just him with knives and feet keep off the flank, and as the flank is denied, you go to the Jet. Tries to work his way forward and only got through one. G2 to 11.
Good reactions, at least, from G2, despite losing an Oxy early to the Bladestorm of Sim. They were able to pretty quickly snap onto B. They take Brock out immediately, don't let him have any type of free reign. Don't allow anything really happen at the back of B. Everything went G2's way in that regard. And so they will go up 11-7, but the full buy is back out for BreakThru. This is basically last chance saloon for them when it comes to Ascent. Otherwise, that third map will be coming.
Right here.
Yeah, that's true.
Scanning ahead.
Weird to see this BreakThru team having troubles on defense after what they did last week. But a lot of credit to G2, have looked clinical in a lot of these approaches.
Yeah, it's just unlike Haven, they're actually finishing the job.
Yeah.
You know, like they've always looked sharp on the attack in the early and mid round. It's just been when it's come to putting the finishing touches on it. But this map, they've been able to, you know, pave the way through all of that. They've been able to, you know, not fall prey to the curveball, little like eco pushes that BreakThru have done to try to get back into the half. This is their last test, really. If they can get past this defense that has the op with Sim.
The knife will reveal a little bit. Another extra star will be placed at the front doors of A. G2 still feeling things out with now Shazam pondering through mid-map.
I have the spike.
40 seconds on the clock. This is pretty parse off from G2's offense on Haven. Flya would have a null command if he even sniffs out and execute, but you don't want to get caught sitting in the middle of a tree, and he's going to be just done on that. So flashes himself out, tries to, but he's fully revealed. The shots do not land. Null command off the table. Thief only able to get one. Sim up top. Operator only gets a second as the Hunter's Fury is trying to assist defensively. But G2 have got when they came for. They're on for a plant.
Indeed they are. It's going to be a 3-on-3 post plant for G2, a spot they struggled on Haven, but a place that they've done well on so far here on Ascent is everything from BreakThru is coming through Heaven, and last time they got chopped down at this very position.
Offensive Hunter's Fury trying to delay a little further. Shazam's going to connect. Oh, and he will collect as well. Just down to Brock. Hand. It would be unbelievable, but the transfer's not going to be there, and G2 get to 12.
Indeed they do. BreakThru's retakes on A have been just very one-dimensional. It's been very A Heaven heavy, and you know, G2 have been able to control A lobby in these post plants and handle the Heaven rotation just fine. This is probably the second or third time we've seen it come down to this. Equal exchange early on, but then once the spike goes down, G2 have everything handled. Really nailing the post plants here on Ascent in comparison to Haven, and that's going to be likely bringing us to a third map, but BreakThru will force up what they can, see if they can go on a run.
Scanning ahead.
There's still a lot of kill potential here, that's for sure. They've got a little bit of everything in the mix, so it just comes down to connecting.
Yeah, Penny's already eaten a few, down to 58 HP.
Run.
Oh, Shazam, though, has a nice little headshot angle there on the side stairs, gets his man, but aggression at A lobby comes up good for BreakThru.
Oh, and Proto just takes a little side peek, nearly does it again. Okay, so it got a little mixy, a little dicey, but the lockdown will allow G2 no plant as of taking the time to shut the door on mid-market. There's the null command. It's just down to can you find these kills. G2 positioning largely from inside the site. Lots of information on that initial cross from Shazam. Flash out. Oxy not affected by it. Here comes the play through the side, though. The first two kills are good, just down to Dapper, and he's not going to find a single kill. BreakThru will find 3 free weapon upgrades, and they have a chance to once again try to push Ascent to overtime. Still alive.
They're going to have to win 4 more rounds in a row, however, and G2 still have economy, and they've had a pretty solid attacking side so far. So definitely going to be an uphill climb for BreakThru, but it's certainly not one they haven't already done before. We saw it last week, of course, against Oxygen twice, making comebacks both times, this map included. Of course, they put on a heck of a show on Haven to go up 1-0 in the series, so certainly can't count them out. And it's also the truth that G2, if they lose this, they would have to take a save, and that's where BreakThru can put themselves within 2.
Absolutely. But do you have enough time here if you're trying to figure out what's been going wrong for you or what's been going well for G2 and actually put together responses? Because you're not going to have a lot of ults to get to overtime at this point. You've just got the neural theft for now. Thief is close to Cosmic Divide, but largely speaking, this has to be done by just the raw vanilla gameplay. You're going to have to put together a better game plan here, I think, if you want to get 4 in a row.
Yeah, Aldrone getting a lot of intel here out of Shazam. They have not found Brock, but they have cleared a lot of space, and they've done so without really committing anything. Spike still over on the opposite side of the map. There is some decent utility set up here, though, still, as well as 2 members of BreakThru nearby. I will say this, though, man, their A retakes have not been on point this game,
No,
so it makes me curious that they want to try to hold it more firmly off the back of this Cypher and Astra utility as opposed to playing for the retake.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they try.
Just something that you just want to make sure Flya stays safe, and as soon as you hit the execute and you get touches in, there's the knife. It's an offensive dual command coming forward. Penny takes a lot of damage on the entry, but does get his way in. And Flya actually does take him down. Now Thief up top, he can really lock down this front door. Zoxy also drops. G2 losing numbers like crazy. And they're not going to get in. Cosmic Divide is also committed to this. There's not a single shred of ground given by BreakThru. And G2 call out another ult trying to save the round. And they'll only get a single kill from Dapper.
That is a brilliant round from BreakThru, surviving with 4 members, picking up all the weapons, putting G2 into low econ, and a great adjustment, you know, getting away from just playing the retake and instead just holding firm off the back of their Astra and Cypher utility and just holding the site down before G2 could break in and get spiked down. And now it's Stingers only for G2, so BreakThru, a great opportunity to get to double digits, and all of a sudden overtime does become a real possibility. That big lead is withering away.
Oh, yeah. Just Stingers in this round. Deep knife. Does reveal 3. So Flya can hold this thing a little while longer. And here comes G2. Rapidly across the middle of the map. Aldrone will lead the way. Fragment. Good position, but Oxy dashing.
Still no frag.
Yeah, we'll get the first. Overwhelming as the Phantom is collected. We'll take it a 2-for-1. G2 on the site for a plant. It looks like BreakThru maybe want to try to commit to this retake a bit sooner than anticipate, especially with Brock already here, but they'll wait their time.
Yeah, they're going to have to clear out their flank with the Aldrone at middle. Neural Theft will also come through, so they're going to get the information. This time it's not one way. They're actually coming multiple directions on this retake. They're not being funneled, but they still are a man behind.
Proto reveals himself. Whippy playing through Archway. Brock the first one to drop, and Sim has got nowhere to go. Still an operator in hand. It just has to be Proto from the high ground. This will be a 1v4. Needs to drop down and deal with the other 3. Checks low. Then over towards the side. Nearly lines up 2, but it's Whippy who will confirm the Thrifty and the map for G2. It's going to be a map 3 affair here, my friend.
Indeed it is. And I think the big difference here is this G2 were able to close on the attack. Again, we talked about how on Haven they were very good at getting the spike down, very good at how they were taking map control and executing sites, but they could not hold off the retakes or the clutches from BreakThru. This time around, they stood toe-to-toe with BreakThru in that regard. They had an equal amount of clutches. They were able to really hold very good post plans, particularly on the A side of the map. It seemed like BreakThru really had a hard time finding ways to make their retake work there, and that's what's led G2 to victory lane and to a 3rd map.
Yep. Wow. What a set of maps we've had so far between these 2 squads. At times, it's been a lot of brilliance and a lot of great Valorant being played. At other times, it's just small mistakes that lead to some huge clutch-up moments. But boy, these 2 teams, I know it's hard to say, but they're the undefeated still in Group A after 1 week. Only one will survive at 2-0, and at this point, it really could be anybody. I mean, both teams are playing some really great Valorant at the moment between these 2 maps we've had so far.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though, where I feel like G2 seems the better team when it comes to, like, the raw fundamentals and just, like, the team play that takes place in the early and mid-round. I just think that BreakThru has that X factor of, like, just individual playmaking and being able to be crafty in chaotic situations, like, you know, on-the-fly reactions have been really good. I think the difference, again, though, just on this map was their clutching and retaking wasn't quite as up to snuff on this map as it was on Haven. G2 really polished their post plants. You know, made the corrections in that regard, were really, smooth in those situations, and ultimately it leads them to a third map. So, man, we'll have to see, but I think maybe slight edge G2 just based on what I'm seeing, but it's very close.
I mean, you used the word crafty. We're going to have to really see what exactly this BreakThru team has. It's Pearl for map number 3, and BreakThru is a squad that has largely relied on the same composition across every map they've played so far. Will they try to get away with it once again on Pearl, or will the map force them to make some changes? We'll find out when we come back.